So as the football world continues to be on a football lockdown, I thought I'd take a little look at what the state of football would look like in 10 years' time. But in this video, we're going to be taking a look at one team in particular, and that team is Leicester City. That's right, folks. Today we're going to take a look at former Premier League winners Leicester City. Can they do the unthinkable once again and pick up the title? Well, we're going to have to find out in just a second. But let's have a look at where they are right here, right now. So they are managed by Brendan Rodgers, who has done a fantastic job in the real world. But can he do a fantastic job for these guys? They're expected to finish 7th, according to the media, with the key man James Vardy up top scoring the goals, as well as, of course, Tielemans in the middle of the field. So let's take a look at the team. Of course, it's highlighted by this little crazy season. They did get themselves promoted back in 2013-2014 from the Championship. They had a bit of a wobbly season, brought to safety by matey boy Nigel Pearson. Upset Ranieri the next season, and oh my goodness. Then they had a free fall back down to reality, 12th spot finish, back-to-back with a 9th spot finish, and then 9th again. So the mid-table team with aspirations to go very, very high. They have been a steady Eddie Premier League side with a bit of a spell in the Championship and as well as League One, getting back at the first attempt. Eventually get themselves back up to the Premier League. So that's that. Brendan Rodgers is the man. Wes Morgan is the captain. Kasper Schmeichel, the vice-captain. James Vardy, the key player, with Filip Benkovic, the hot prospect, who's 21 years of age, actually on loan at Bristol City these days. The most expensive player, though, is Youri Tielemans, who did sign on the dotted line after a successful loan spell. £32 million it cost Leicester. Can they make the money on James Maddison? He's always tipped to go at every start of every save. Will he make the move from Leicester to someplace else? Wilfred Ndidi as well is a very good player, and he's actually wanted by Real Madrid. Ricardo Pereira as well is also wanted by Real Madrid. Kalgal Zangzonglu, who's a young Turkish defender, again hit the blades running, is also a very, very good player as well. Who else is Mendy? It's also wanted by Crystal Palace. There's a lot of prospects wanted. Wes Morgan as well, wanted out in the Middle East to make a chunk of change. Where are these boys going to be in 10 years' time? Place your bets now. Where are you, Leicester City? My money is on Premier League. I think they're going to be safe as houses. Brendan Rodgers would have done an okay job. Let's have a look. They are in the Prem, finishing 8th this season. But look at this. Of course, dizzy heights here, finishing 9th, all the way up to 6th. That was their highest position since we've been gone. A little low point here of 16th, 9th, and then finishing 8th this time around. Stevie Cooper's now the man in charge, formerly of... Is this the guy? No, that's not what I wanted. Milestones. Yep, former Swansea manager, goes to Leicester. We'll have a closer look at the managerial merry-go-round in a second. The captain is Patson Daka, who's a Zambian. He's 30 years old. He's a striker, and he is very, very good as well. Got double digits for a couple of seasons, leading the line, formerly of Borussia Dortmund. German Stadicho is the vice-captain, 26-year-old regen. He's going to join Boca Juniors to go back to his homeland. And then Andrew Pittman is the key player, £39 million left back. He's got one cap to his name as well. And the key man for the future is Kenny Davidson. Oh yeah, Kenny, 18-year-old attacking midfielder. Future is bright for this guy. Got one appearance so far for Leicester City. So these are the team. Let's have a look at the boys then in all their glory. Let's see if we see anyone familiar. Matty Longstaff. Okay, formerly of Newcastle, £48 million. Doesn't break into the international scene, but he is a Leicester City man after moving for £35 million. Played in the Premier League all his career. Look at that. Phenomenal. Who else have we got? Angel Gomez, Mason Greenwood. It's like a Manchester United reunion. Angel Gomez, no caps, £36.5 million rated. Was picked up from Aston Villa for 37.5. Who eventually left Man United to join Newcastle and then Villa. And he's had an okay season, 6.85 average rated. How about Mason Greenwood? Did he ever reach the very heights? No, he did not. £38 million, but he's still got time. He's got probably about 5 years to make it into the international scene, but he ain't going to get in there with those numbers. No way. Luis Suarez, I don't think it's the Luis Suarez, he must have packed in. Kazan Sanjanju still there, good credit to the lad, 100 caps for Turkey, he's been there, testimonial and more. He was picked up from Freiburg for £18.75 million, but he just stayed there, didn't go anywhere. leading the line from the back. Kenny Davidson, we talked about him a little bit. Well, Stephen Bergman's on loan. Ben-Hur, the Galactico is here. Picked up by Leicester for £5.25 million. Ben-Hur, welcome. Anyone else that we know about? German Staricio, Matty Longstaff, Greenwood. There's no one that rings a bell besides this fella from being here from the way back when. So let's go and have a little look at the manager merry-go-round, shall we? So it was Brendan Rodgers. Let's get rid of the caretakers. Manuel Pellegrini came in for a short, nearly 3 years actually. Neil Lennon then regained control. Has he ever been in charge before? But he lasted over 3 years in charge. Frank Lampard as well coming in for 135 days. And Stevie Cooper's been in for 2 years and a bit. And he looks like he's very, very happy. Let's take a look at the transfers then for Leicester City, going all the way back to their initial season, spending £16.5 million on Mustafi from Arsenal on loan. Alfie Whitman coming as well. Jario Ridewell from Crystal Palace. Players going out, Daniel Aramate to Feyenoord for £5.5 million. Wes Morgan goes to PAOK out in Greece. Jalkovic went to Luzern as well, plus some other loans. Next season, £82 million spent, £146 million coming in. So a nice bit of business. Michy Batshuayi comes in from Chelsea. I think he doesn't do okay. I think I checked him out beforehand. Career stats is what we want. He had an okay season here, maybe double digits on all competitions, we'll see. Thiago Almada comes in on loan. Jacques Shaqiri comes in as well. He's actually now a manager at Northampton. Who'd have thunk it? He actually made the move permanent the next season. We'll see that shortly. £3.1 million to Zenit as well. He did okay at Leicester. Looks like a little bit of a reunion maybe with Brendan Rodgers. I don't know. Did he bring on Brendan Rodgers? I don't know. I don't think. Edna Stevens came in for £12.5 million. Laborde coming in from Montpellier. Defolue from Watford for £29 million. Still in the game is at Eintracht Frankfurt. His contract's coming to an end. He actually had a fantastic time out in Saudi Arabia. They bought him for £66.5 million. Players going out. Let's begin with Chinichiacho went to Rangers. Gazar went to CSK Moscow. Diabate went to Pumas out of Mexico. Slimani went to Schalke. The big money, though, Wilfred Ndidi went to Bayern for £57 million. He's still there now, and he's still doing bits for Bayern. Ridewell went to Everton. Pereira went to Inter Milan. Mark Albrechtson went to West Ham United, and he is now manager of the under-18 coach for Walsall. He ended the season, ended his career at West Ham as well, so a good bit of business there. Christian Fuchs went to PAOK as well to join up with Morgan. Nepal's Mende went to Nims. Anyone else? Am I missing anybody else? No. Next season, you saw £92 million being spent. Shaqiri coming in on a permanent basis. Ross Barkley came in for £24.5 million. He later sold him to Celtic for 18.25. Jesse Lingard came in on a freebie, and he's still in the game. He's over at Lille now. You pick him out on a free, you sell him for 6.25. He did okay, not really set the place on fire. El Jari came in from China for £10.5 million. The former Italian international. You held his own. You sold him for £11.75 million, but he was a bit of a dud. It's been a bit of a dud for the majority of his career, if we're honest with you. Besides that, yeah. Next up, Perez goes to Newcastle, 22.5. James Justin goes to Aston Villa. Michu Batshuayi and Gelton Laborde both go to Spartak Moscow for around about £20 million combined. Johnny Evans goes to Spartak as well. Actually, 3 transfers out to flipping Spartak. Must have come up with some sort of deal. Next season, £109 million spent on Fabio Silva. Porto players now at Real Madrid. That's interesting. You sold him. You doubled your money. That's a good bit of business. Oxlade-Chamberlain came in, 13.25. He's still in the game. He's over at Stuttgart these days. Formerly of Arsenal, of course, and Southampton way back when. Had a good couple of seasons for the Saints before Arsenal gobbling up for £12 million. Edouard is now at Arsenal as well. You bought him in and you sold him. You bought him in for £35 million. You sold him for 44. A good chunk of change. Junji Wijnaldum came in as well on loan. Quite a gel in as well on a free transfer. That's not a bad bit of business. Still rated quite highly. You sold him to Watford for £11.75 million. Players going out. Pratt went to Watford for £17.25 million. His career ended at Shandong out in China. They sold for 27 million quid. Frank Faber went out as well. Daniel Everson. Tillmans went to Real Madrid, and that's where he remains. He's transfer listed at 7.75. It's actually, you can get him for 3.5. A steal, mate. It's an absolute steal. Next up, we have Josh Beklisman coming from Inter Milan. Former... Did he used to play for the Saints? No, it's goalkeeper, isn't it? Barcelona, Valencia, Inter Milan, and Leicester. He retired at Leicester after, spending a couple of seasons. He had one season in number 1, it looks like. Kennedy comes in from Reina. Loftus-Cheek comes in. Patson Daka comes from Dortmund. Big money there. Javier Montero, that's a good pickup. He's still in the books at Leicester as well. Not too shabby bit of business on that one. Kamara. Double Kamaras, really. Look at that. Sturicchio from Belgrado as well. Players going out. El Shari goes to Norwich. We saw Chowdhury goes to Crystal Palace. Fabio Silva, there's that big bit of business right there. Gerard Devalfu goes over to the Saudi Arabia. Filip Penkovic, he's the big prospect at Porto. He's now at AC Milan, who bought him for £45 million from Porto. You guys made a good chunk of change on him as well, so you can't complain with that. Nicolas Bendete as well went to the other Arsenal. Jeremy Guilin as well. A lot of busy season here with a lot of players going in and going out. Next season, Dean Henderson comes in from Manchester United to try and compete for the number 1 jersey, but he fails. No, he does. He does actually do well. He does do a couple of seasons as number 1 before he falls down the pecking order and goes to Schalke for £4 million. Still in the game, still being a bit of a dick. Ziyech as well goes to £27 million from PSG. He comes in, goes out. Man United as well sell Mason Greenwood for £7.75 million. Players going out, £82 million gone out. The majority of which is on Ben Chilwell, who goes to Man City at long last. Still in the game, still with Man City as well. Ross Barkley goes to Celtic for 14.25. Santiago Arias goes to Lokomotiv Moscow, and a lot of other little bit of business along the way. 2025-2026 season sees Baroni come in for £16 million. Wendell as well from Hertha Berlin. And a couple of other ones as well. Chris Feeman, blah, blah, blah. Players going out. Shaqiri goes to Zenit. Loftus-Cheek to Leipzig. Kennedy to Kiev. And Ziyech goes to Espanyol as well. You can follow his history through my things. Next up, he spent £15.75 million on Ayut Radu, who's a Romanian goalkeeper, still in the books at Leicester, and he's still doing very well. Where are we? We've lost you. Next up, who came in? Nelson Semedo for £12.75 million. Angel Gomez and Adam Kouanes from Aston Villa. He spent around about £70 million on them. Sung Young Min comes as well. Where is he? Still in the game. He's over at in the Middle East as well. 36 years of age now. Sung Young Min. How does he get on at Leicester? Just the one season. Nothing to get excited about. You kind of wiped your face on that one. £150 million received. Harvey Barnes. This is interesting, isn't it? Leicester. Yeah. Okay. They spent bank on him. Jesse Lingard on the move. Other players on the move: Nicola, Wendell, and Sung Young Min. He was in one, out the other. Look at that, not even a full year. Next season, 2027-2028, Andrew Pittman from Liverpool, £14 million. Kingsley Coman, though, came from Spurs. Do you want to have a look at him? Where's he these days? He's actually on the books at CSK Moscow. He come in for a couple of seasons. He had an okay start, but not really set the place on fire. Edouard went to Arsenal. Semedo went out to Porto. And some other ones. Chris Freeman, Nif Naf from Trivia. Oxlade-Chamberlain went to Corona on loan. Next up, into the actual season here, they spent £60 million, just generating £35 million worth of sales. Dean Henderson going on the move. James Maddison goes to Wolves, £19.7 million. He hung on in there. Kingsley Coman went to CSK Moscow. Dennis Kilkin to Lazio as well. Some other little bits of business there. Bergwijn brought in on loan now. McDonald from Manchester City. And some other names we've never heard of. Let's take a look at the best 11s now, shall we? Radu between the sticks, Chua at left back, Montero, Sonchu, and Corriera at the right back. Longstaff, Madison alongside in the middle with Edouard, Lingard, Barnes, and Daka leading the line. Daka's got 88 goals in 213 games. Madison with 73 goals in 360. Let's have a look at all the ones way back when. So kicking off with a debut season, 13 goals for James Vardy, 11 for Maddison, 10 for Perez, with Kasper Schmeichel between the sticks. Next season, we still saw Vardy leading the line for another double-digit season. Bit of a low-scoring season, it looks like. Kasper Schmeichel remained between sticks. The next best thing was Shaqiri with 8 goals and a 7.11 average. Next season, no more James Vardy. Doesn't look like it. Nowhere near. Harvey Barnes got himself 14 goals. Pachero takes over as goalkeeper. Benkovic alongside Sonchu at the back with Tillmans and Madsen in a very, very decent midfield team there. Next season, 2022-23 season, Radu takes over at number 1. Sonchu and Benkovic still at the back 3. Oxlade-Chamberlain comes into the team with Barnes, Edouard and Silva, all double digits. Shaqiri also getting 10 goals and he's on the bench. Next up, Daka still leads the line, 18 goals for him, 8 goals for Barnes, 7 goals for Jesse Lingard and Jesper Kilson between the sticks. Dean Henderson, it looks like new goalkeeper every season. Dean Henderson now between the sticks, 2024-25 season. They just don't know. James Maddison with 13 goals, Daka 16, 14 for Barnes, 13 for Edouard. Matty Longstaff on the bench alongside Mason Greenwood. 2025-26 season, Dean Henderson remains at number 1. Surprise, surprise. James Maddison with 10 goals, Daka gets 12, 11 goals for Harvey Barnes, and Edouard gets himself a 7.22 average with 14 goals as well. Next up, Edouard leads the line, 10 goals for him, 15 for Daka, and Anut Radu comes back between the sticks and regains top spot. On the bench, Mason Greenwood, yeah. Next season, Radu remains at number 1, 15 goals for Daka, 9 goals for Bergwijn in midfield, 8 goals for Mason Greenwood on the bench. Radu remains number 1. Into the final season, Radu remains number 1 once again after his ropey start. Patson, Daka with 12 goals, 11 goals for Mason Greenwood. Next season's his season, Matty Longstaff in midfield alongside Baroni and the boys. Quick look at the records now, shall we? These are the records set way back when and beyond. Take a pause of the screen if you want to look at it. Most goals in one single season. Well, that honour goes to Patson Daka with 16. In fact, he's got 18 here, so he has been leading the line for a couple of seasons, and he's still leading the line today. Zambian fella who's El Capitano. Most assists by any one player is 15, and it's a sport for riches. James Maddison, Harvey Barnes, and Yuri Tillmans, 15 assists on various seasons. In the thing. Highest average rating goes to Harvey Barnes, 7.36 average rated, and the profile once again is of Leicester City. They are a mainstay, steady Eddie Premier League side. They do currently sit 3rd in the Premier League, but it doesn't look like that's going to be on the horizon anytime soon. They do have a highest place finish of 6th, but besides that, it's mid-table obscurity. But where are the titles going to go? Is it Man City? Is it Liverpool? We got Man City coming up tomorrow, so hold on tight, folks. It's going to be an insane end to this series. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.